Michael had that one talent. He done gone from retired from professional football, and let's say he is doing some anchoring, for sports stuff. Then he got a show with he's on Kelly Ripa's show, Kelly and Mike. Next thing you know, Mike Strahan is on Good Morning America. Work with me. You got that one talent. One talent. Next thing you know, he on Good Morning America. He probably doing the weekend anchor stuff, for the football. And next thing you know, we had the third hour of Good Morning America. Okay. Then he won't. It was him and I think him and I guess it was the third hour. Him and Kiki. You with me? Kiki. Kiki. I got it right. Yeah, Kiki. Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. And so then he was there. Then the next thing you know, he's still on Good Morning America. He's still doing the weekend anchors, with the football. Hi, welcome to this edition of Real Talk with TAS and OnJerya. I'm your co-host, Dr. Teresa Smith. Dr. TAS and OnJerya is my lovely co-host who just happens to be my sister. We are so glad to be back with you guys. It has been a minute. Well, you were trying to get my baby home. My baby
is because as we know, hi people, we've missed you. We love you. As we all know, you got kids. Okay, it's that time of the year. Yes, we winding down in countdown mode, like the teachers. How to do? But it's also time for EOGs. And for those of you that are taking EOGs and EOCs, we as parents, we have to make sure that our babies are prepared. So yes, that definitely was most important.
I understand because I'm depending on Trinity. She's going to have to help take care of me in my young age. So yes. I certainly need to make sure she learns everything she can learn. So I was good with that. Because we do have, sometimes a program is delayed and, gets interrupted because something else is going on. And so I knew we were just being delayed today. And then I said, we have this thing, guys, about, and this is serious here. And Addie, you will get it. There are times that I try to do something, and this happened to OnJerya too, and it probably happens to all of you guys, but you may not be aware of it because you don't think about it. But it happens so much to me that I'm just good with it. You think that you're going to do something right that moment, but you can't. You're trying to leave the house and you can't leave the house, or you leave the house and you go back to the house. You just can't do whatever you're trying to do. And what I come to understand is that's God's way of protecting me. And what happened about 18 months ago, about 18 months to 2 years ago, I had that episode happen. I just couldn't leave the house. I left the house and I had to go back to the house because Mike, well, did I turn on the stove? And then after I came back to make sure the stove was off, it's like, you hadn't even cooked that day. So no, the stove was not left on. But it delayed me about 10 minutes. And I was on my way to see my parents. And so when I got further down the road, there was an accident. And I was like, Lord, if I had been 10 minutes earlier, I may have been involved in that accident. And that was the first time that I actually saw it, because I had come to the conclusion that's his way of trying to protect us when we can't do what we think we're going to do right that moment. But that particular time, I saw the accident. And I was like, thank you, God. I understand. And so I've learned the power of love. That makes sense right there, too. I've learned the power of love and not to think that I know more than God, because he's always looking out for me and looking out for us. So I don't know if that's anything that any of you have ever encountered, but it certainly happens to me all the time. It's like, I'm getting ready to go to bed. Well, did you do this? Did you do that? It's like, what's going on? But anyway, he's delaying me for a reason. Now, OnJerya, what's going on with you? Because, we've been talking about a whole lot of stuff. What is going on? That's really, you're right. That is God's intervention, Addie. It certainly is. And, I'm going to give it to you, OnJerya, but I don't recognize God's intervention. I don't know what's wrong with us. I did a post today as of this particular episode, and today is what, the 20, I don't know what today's date is. What's the 20th, OnJerya? I mean, is the day the 20th?
20th.
Okay, I did a post today as of May 20th, and I posted a remix of Jamal Bryant's sermon, one of his sermons. But when I listened to it, what came to me is, because he was saying in essence that some people are wanting your downfall so that they can elevate. So they're gonna they're going to capitalize on your downfall because that's going to help to elevate them. But when I heard it, what came to me, which I knew it was God, was that you have to learn not to turn away God's angels. And then I made another little caption about you can't keep turning your back on the table that he prepares for you. So what I was trying to convey was, yeah, there may be people who are trying to elevate by your decline, by your demise, but we have to have the eyes that can see. We have to have the discernment so we know who God has sent to help to elevate us so that we don't keep turning our back on the table that he prepares for us. Because remember, he prepares the tables before us. I'm a misquote. He prepares the table before our what is it? It's before our enemies. Help me out, Anjay.
Now you know
It's the
I
23rd
know
song.
my
It's the
disclaimer.
23rd song. It's late now. It's the 23rd song. But again, we have to be able to determine the difference. So in other words, you got to be able to see who's for you and who's against you. And lots of times what happens is we think the people that are for us are really the people that are there to make sure that we don't progress. And let that settle for a moment. The people that we think, and this covers everything, relationships, work, organizations, church, everything. The people that you think sometimes are in your corner, they the ones that trying to bring you down, baby. Hey, Sean Zemo1, thank you for joining us. They're the ones just trying to bring you down. And that's the reason I thought it was so important to say, you got to be able to discern who his angels are. You got to be able to determine, oh, he done prepared a table for me in the presence of my enemy. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. You got to understand when he is doing it. You are right, Doctor. We must be very careful not to miss our God assignment angels, angels for us. Exactly. And we don't think about it that way. But like I said, when Jamal's sermon, that portion of the sermon resonated with me. But well, what do we call my response? Because I grew up back when we used to do that responsive reading. You remember, Anjaya? They say one part, then the congregation say the other part. That was my response to it because that's what God dropped in my soul. I'm like, oh yeah, because everybody that comes into your circle is not trying to bring you down. They're trying to uplift you, but we get so jaded, to use a mama's term, we get so jaded that we don't know the difference, or we get so whatever hurt, church hurt, regular hurt, any kind of hurt, that we don't discern anymore of the people that are really there trying to help you. Because as you would say, they don't come the way, come on now. But I'm sorry, now like I want to preach tonight. They don't come in the clothing. They don't look the way you thought they were going to look. They don't the way that you want them to act. Their delivery is not the delivery that you want to hear. Well, come on now. The Christ didn't come the way that they thought he was. He did not appear. The Messiah didn't come the way they thought he was going to come. He didn't walk around. He walked around as a humble person. They weren't expecting that, but he still had all power in his hand. But anywho, I'm gonna get off that because once I get to talking about that, I can go on talking about that for 2 or 3 hours. I'll go from one sermon to the next. Now, what you want to talk about, Miss Anjay?
I mean, well, that kind of actually segue.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay,
kind
go.
of segue because I was looking at a reel where Jazzy Faye is a producer, I think based out of Atlanta. He's worked with a lot of different artists. One of them, of course, me and Sierra and Bow Wow. The list goes on and on and on and on. So I don't know what the question was because, again, it was only just like a snippet of the interview. Mm-hmm. And he was stating how he realized that people didn't have a problem with him. Mm-hmm. They had a problem with the anointing.
Come on, man.
That was in him. Mm-hmm. So that's why when you were talking, I'm like, oh, okay. So you just set that right on up nicely. Mm-hmm. Because again, that's part of the problem is that I don't realize that you are really not the problem. You as in the individual, you're not the problem. Mm-mm. I don't have a problem with you, but of course I'm going to say that I have a problem with you because I am still a babe in the womb. because I have not been exposed to broader, bigger things. So therefore, I can only talk from, my experiences, my frame of references, which is my problem is with you. But it's not you as the individual. It's the, as I was getting ready to say, come on, Eric, Mary, it's the God in me.
It's the God in me.
It's the God in me. And I'm always going to say, if you got a problem with me, you need to take that up with God, because guess what? I have no control over that. Because he made all of us different. Everybody has our own calling, our own purpose. And if you got a problem with me, maybe take it up with the man upstairs. And what we're finding out is based off of interactions with people, it's easy to point the blame and the finger at you as to why I can't elevate. See, it's your fault that I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's your fault that I don't know anything. It's your fault that I can't do my work. It's your fault that I can't make the money that I should be making with my credentials.
I just heard one of the statements that you said. It's your fault that I can't do my work.
It's your fault. But is it really my fault though?
What was study? A man has to study himself to show approval. Is that what it says? It just ran across my mind. They say it a lot in church. Added, somebody may know. You have to study to show yourself approval, something like that. If I wasn't using my phone, I'd be Googling to get that saying. But you have to study, and study means you have to work at your craft. I'm almost reminded of the talents. And the one person buried his. Well, that meant you weren't working at it, baby. I gave you that one. I gave this person, that. Everybody got a different numbers, but it didn't mean because you got the one talent that talent was less than those people who got 2 or 3 or whatever it is right now. But they multiplied theirs. You decided to bury yours, and then you want to think I did you wrong. Christ don't really say, God don't really say it like that. He probably does look at us and say, she think I did her wrong. But that one talent, oh, come on, black gal, that one talent that was buried could have superseded what those other people were able to multiply. Let me see if I can say that in plain English. You jealous. Ooh, help me somebody. Uncle Jeffro. I'm just going to make this up, guys, because my mind just can't come up with the talents, the numbers right now. But so I'm going to make it up. This person got 3 talents. He gave you 1 talent. You think that this person got 3 talents, that makes them better than you. Yeah. That they're going to achieve more than you. So they double their 3. Let's go 2 so I can hold my hands up. They got 2 talents. You got 1 talent. They double it and they got 4. So you think that makes them better than you. Well, baby, let me tell you something. Y'all remember this. Your 1 talent could be more than these people 4 talents. I'm gonna make it say a little bit better. These people doing good. They making good money. They living the life, having a good old time. Got millions of dollars off that 4 talents. You got 1 talent. If you work, you could have billions. Yep. But wait a minute. He only gave me 1. He gave them 2. Yeah. He gave you 1, gave them 2. They went from 2 to 4. Your 1 talent could make you a billionaire. It took 4. It took 4 things to make them a millionaire. But you begrudge the 1 thing. And when you know, and I understand this, I was talking to somebody recently. It's hard when you got multiple talents and you're good at a lot of things. You may think, oh, I want to be able to do this. It's hard because then when you have multiple talents, it's hard to figure out which one should get your full focus. But when you got 1 talent, I'm happy. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to say it anyway because it dropped it in my spirit. When you got 1 talent, if you work that 1 talent, it can give you everything you want. Let me tell you what got dropped in my spirit. I immediately, athletes went through my mind. And I thought about Michael Strahan. I do not know Michael's backstory. I don't know nothing about him except what I see on TV now. I came to know Michael Strahan when he was with Kelly. Now, of course, he's a pro football player. He's in he probably was already doing the commentary on Sundays and with the football and everything. But I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know him. Of course, he was already a millionaire because he played pro ball. I didn't know Michael. Okay, Michael, y'all work with me now. I'm not trying to put him down. I'm trying to show you how he used that 1 talent. Michael had that 1 talent. He done gone from retired from professional football, and let's say he is doing some anchoring, for sports stuff. Then he got a show with he's on Kelly Ripa's show. Kelly and Mike. Next thing you know, Michael Strahan is on Good Morning America. Work with me. You got that 1 talent. one talent. Next thing you know, he on Good Morning America. He probably doing the weekend anchor stuff, for the football. And next thing you know, we had the third hour of Good Morning America. Okay. Then it was him and I guess it was the third hour, him and Kiki. You with me? Kiki? Kiki. I got it right. Yeah, Kiki, yeah. Right? Okay. Okay. And so then he was there. Then the next thing you know, he's still on Good Morning America. He's still doing the weekend anchors, with the football. Then he, what is it? They do the seasonal thing now where they bring back the game shows. I think he hosts the Pyramid show. Yeah, he does it. He hosts at least one of them shows that comes on ABC. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michael does a good job. He had that one talent. And I'm letting that one talent just be the professional athlete. But from that one talent, it made him a millionaire. That one talent, that person with that one talent, he worked his talent. He was good at his craft. He kept perfecting his craft. Then once he was done with that part of his one talent, that one talent opened the door to all these other things. One talent. He didn't bury that talent. He worked his talent. So again, when you talk about, the gentleman was saying, you're not upset with me. You don't dislike me, the shell. You have a problem with what the Messiah, with God, the Trinity, what is in me. Some people want to use the word anointing. You have a problem with that. You have a problem with my talent. All of us have a talent. We just got to work our talent instead of wanting somebody else's talent. And God knows you don't want it. You don't want to go through what I go through to do what I do. It may look like it's simple. It may look like it's easy and a lot of fun. Baby, you don't want to go through this because, we have to be refined. You don't want to go into the fire with me, in your own fire. Yeah. Because to get what I got, you're going to have to go through your own fire. And some people don't survive it. Yeah. But, again, when you were talking, that's just what was dropping down in me. You're right. And he's right. You don't have a problem with him. You have a problem with his anointing. You got to take that up with God.
And that was just his whole thing was, he doesn't feel any kind of way because he realized that, he doesn't get invited everywhere. Mm-hmm. But it goes back to what you were saying. Sometimes there's a reason why. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be a part of that circle.
Come on back, Ann.
You need to be on the scene.
Ooh, Jesus.
Because things happen that are not meant for you, but will be for you because you at the wrong place. Right? Was it wrong place? Right? Wrong time?
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, again, as Mama would say, push your little way wagon.
Push it.
Push it. Don't worry about what I got going on. Don't worry about what the next person got going on because you don't know, you never know what somebody has to go through, what they had to go through in order to get to where they are today. It is just like someone had told me last week. They said, something wrong with you. And I was, what do you mean? They said, I'm crashing out for you.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you crashing out? You should be very, very upset. You should just be ranting and raving and pitching a fit. And I said, well, I'm going to tell you like I told my sister. I'm on this thing about, self-discovery, rediscovering who I am at this particular phase of life, at this particular chapter. Now, it don't mean that the old me is dead and gone. Mm-hmm. It just means that the new me realize that I have so much more to lose than the people that I'm interacting with.
Come on.
So because I am being blessed and highly favored and grateful, I'm not going to cut up like I know I can. Because I can shut it down. And if you know me, I can shut it down real good. But because of all the blessings that flow, I'm not going to cut up. So it's almost like the humanity switch. And if you ever watched Supernatural or Vampire Diaries, the vampires will get to a point where the humanity switch will get turned off, which means that they really just didn't care. They just kind of go with the flow, no emotions. And that was kind of why I was with that situation because, again, why am I going to lose out on something? Dealing with, wasting time with somebody that don't have anything. And probably because they're not working their plan won't have anything. Because their problem with me, which is what the problem Jazzy Faye was saying, is that you're not bothered with me as the shell, as you would like to say. Your bothering is with the fact that you are not getting what you're looking for, because you're wanting me to act that, because that's human nature, right? When somebody does something to us, that person is expecting you to act a certain way, especially if that's how, they're used to people acting up. But when you don't give the person that power, because that's really all, when you're acting out, when you're crashing out, you're basically relinquishing the power and control to that person. Well, baby, we're not going to do that in 2025. Because see, we may have done that 2 years ago. I've even done that last month.
Yes. Yes.
But in May, baby, we're not going to do that. Because you are not worth my fight. You're not worth my energy to be upset and bothered with you and your foolishness. Because again, the problem that you have is with self and with the man upstairs. And that's all you need to take it out with. If you don't put the work in, you're not going to get anything out of it. And that's with anything in life. That's with relationships. That's with your jobs. That's with anything that you do. If all you do is just show up and expecting people to do for you, you're never going to elevate, which goes back to, who did you say it was that you posted?
Oh, Jamal Brown.
And that's basically what Jamal was saying. That's basically what he was saying. Because people want to keep you on that low-hanging fruit, but that's not what God has for you. And as long as you continue to keep your eyes on the prize, as they say, and don't get distracted, just become tunnel vision and focus on what the goal is, then no matter what somebody do, no matter what they say, they're not going to be able to derail you. Because again, we all have a purpose. We all have our own personal battles and vendettas that we have to deal with. We don't need to take on nobody else's mess. And I don't even want your mess, because I don't even want to deal with mine. But unfortunately, I got to do it. I got to carry this burden. I got to carry my little satchel. I got to carry it with me on my back. So why do I want to carry yours? I don't want to. And I'm not going to. And when we get to a point of understanding that what is for me is for me, then I'll never be worried about what's for somebody else and why what they have is not what I have. Because what they have is what they needed. And what I have is what I need. And we may need similar things, but it doesn't materialize in the same manner. And when we get to a point of understanding, we all can live life a little bit easier and better.
I agree, Angelia. And Addie wrote, this is wisdom from Jesus for all. We all have the ability to multiply whatsoever we have. It can be a carrier, talent, gift, etc. And I was thinking about, because Jesus used parables, and I was thinking about my garden. That's not what we call it. My box, whatever it's called. What's my box?
Raised bed.
Thank you, my raised bed. Now I got a choice. I can tend to my raised bed and see my little things start sprouting, which they are, guys. I'll take a picture at some point. I'll show you guys. I'm so pleased with myself. Hi, little Mike. Thank you so much for joining us. But what I'm doing is I'm watering my raised bed. I got okra, squash. I've got 2 different types of onions. I got 3 different types of kale. I got a tomato plant and I got a broccoli plant out there right now. But I'm watering it. So that means I'm working at my talent, and the talent happens to be the raised bed this time. I'm working at it. It can be anything, like Addie said, but I got to work at it. I got to work. I can't just depend on the fact that, we're going to get rain and that's supposed to do it, because we may not get enough rain in order for my plants out there, my vegetables to grow. So again, like you said, we have to do our part in it, Well, I added, you eat some. I'll tell you, once I start cutting some stuff, I sure will be showing you guys. My dad told me that my regular green onions, and he's right, I can clip some of those onions off now. Who knows? I will be doing that. I have to figure out how to capture myself doing it so you guys can see it. But yeah, with the kale, I'm going to make kale. I'm going to freeze some kale, but I'm also going to use it for my salads. Again, that's a part of my plan, but also God's plan, because I heard what you said, Anjay. Thank you, Yoki Cool Dude, for joining us. We got to work. The people have to work their plan, but your plan always must align with God's plan.
Right.
And, sometimes, in everything, we must give him his due. He has to be with us in everything. And sometimes I think people they don't want to own up to their stuff. And guys, I can say this. Well, I can say it even if I won't go make the statement, but I'm gonna say it. I can say this. I grew up in church. I know church people.
Ritualistically.
Yes, I know them ritual. Thank you. That's my word. I know ritualistic people. I grew up in the church. I grew up in a ritualistic environment. It doesn't mean that I didn't learn anything. I learned a whole lot. Mm-hmm. But I grew up in a very ritualistic environment. It's big. God is bigger than those rituals. And so there's a big difference between me actually consulting God every step of the way and listening and doing what he wants me to do versus me consulting God. And every now and then I do it the way he wants me to do it. But basically, I'm driving my own car. With Kelly Clarkson said, Jesus, take the wheel. Well, he going to take the wheel, but we're going to have to give up the steering wheel. He can't have it if I'm trying to hold on to it too. One of us going to have to let our hands go. And we don't want to let our hands go because we believe that we know best. They said, mother, father knows best. We know best. We don't know nothing. And that's a hard thing to be humble, and to be vulnerable. And I think, Anjay, and you know this maybe better than most people, I don't have a problem being that. Because, I said to someone else today, they said, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to tell you, blah, blah, blah. I said, thank you, God. You heard my prayer. Because I had just said that, please just tell them to tell me what to do. Because I need that way. It don't offend me because I need it. Because I don't know which way to go. I don't know which way to go. So I need that person to just tell me. And they said, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to tell you. I stopped. I said, thank you, God. You heard my prayer. Because I had just whispered that prayer. And, and Jay, the thing about prayer too is because people, I grew up ritualistically, but that don't mean I always got to get down on my knees. Because somebody said, well, Dr. Smith or Teresa, well, had you just got up? No, honey, I was standing up working. And I was like, I need to just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Because I don't know how to do. I don't know which way to go. I don't know what to do. And that was one of the quick prayers, less than 30 minutes. The person told me what to do. I said, well, thank you, God. Because I needed that. So when we talk about who's plan, it's got to be his plan because we have to align. But Anjay, that's the hardest thing for us to do. You just say, here we go.
I said, oh, girl.
Oh, okay. In my head, I'm here. Here you go. Yeah, that's the hardest thing. Why?
Because it's my way. What do you mean why? It's my way. What is it? It's my way or the highway. It's about me. It's about me and my needs and me not understanding that. I mean, and we're not going to get too deep in that because, again, we're not going to get too deep in that. But whoever you believe in, we'll leave it like that. Whoever you believe in, we're not just here just because we here. But I think a lot of people think that we just here because we just here. Like things just happened and we just appeared as individuals. And that's not the case. Everybody is here for a reason. Some people are here for a season. And I know it's like, well, what do you mean the season? You talking about, every quarter, once a year, twice? Yeah. We not putting no time frame on the season. Your season could be, I was here for 30 days on this earth. I was born, I was here for 30 days, and whatever my purpose was, I fulfilled it, and I moved on to the next phase of whatever that plan is. We have to focus on what's important. And what's important is, in order for us to grow, in order for us to elevate, you gotta remain focused. You can't sit here and go down that rabbit hole of woe is me. We talk about that all the time. People with that victim mentality. Why is it that I never go anywhere? Why is it that I'm always picked last? Good question. Why are you always picked last? Why is it that nobody, that's what I'm giving energy to. Why are you always picked last? Let's talk about it. Let's dissect it. Why is it that you feel that nobody loves you? Why do you feel that nobody cares? And I agree, Addie. Yeah, I agree. Why do you feel that way? Do you feel that way because of your experiences? Do you feel that way because that's what I've heard all my life? Is people say, like, I have a classmate, I'm gonna have to put him on the limit list. For those of you that understand, For those of you that understand your social media platforms, if you didn't know, now you know, because I'm getting ready to school you. You can limit the access and the views of certain people that you are friends with on your social media platform. Not block them, but just limit they posts that be coming through your timeline. Because I have this one classmate, and I just be like, I just be wanting to respond. But I'm like, I just can't respond because, see, the Scorpio in me with them 6 other spirit animals would just rip him a new one. Because I really want to be like, baby, we don't care. We don't care who hurt you. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I have seen people cuddle this person, and you know, he's been like, God don't like me, my mama doesn't like me, and I'm just like, I'm sick of you, okay? Because obviously God not done with you. You're still here because you're still posting. You're still posting. I'm still reading it. So why are you focusing on the negative energy? Is it because you enjoy it? Because at this point, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that he enjoys being in this pity party, and regardless of if people say something good or bad, as long as he's getting attention on the inside, it's satisfying a need. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm really starting to think that because again, it's just sad. Nobody loves me. Why do people hurt me? My mama didn't want me. Ooh, good catch. You know what I was about to say. Good catch. Good catch. David, we do not care. Social media, like we have turned social media into therapy, right? Like we are in therapy, and people go to social media and just vent about what's going on in their life, and it's like, baby, we don't care. We got our own stuff that we dealing with, so we don't have time to feed into your victim mentality, because I got my own victim mentality that I'm dealing with, that I'm trying not to wallow in, because I know that I can't stay there. I can have my woe is me moment. I can be like Ice Cube said, today was a good day. Okay, but yesterday it was rough. Okay, it was rough, but I didn't stay there because today was a good day. This person, they stay there, and I'm just like, we all have bad days. As the song said, we fall down, but we
Back up again.
When are you gonna get up? Why are you still crawling on the floor? Why are you still on the ground? You need to go outside barefooted, hug a tree, run through the grass, run through the weeds and all that. Just run through it so that you can get grounded and get back to the focus of, nobody wants to hear me go on about why things are not going the way that they're not going. Because at the end of the day, you control that. Because when you was talking about Jesus take the wheel, I thought about that Tesla and all the other vehicles that drives themselves. I became lazy. I just want to put it on autopilot, and it just takes over. And then as I see I'm getting closer to that car, I'm relying on that autopilot in that vehicle, man-made vehicle, to protect me from running into that car that's in front of me. Well, guess what? What if it don't protect you from hitting that car in front of you? Then what you gonna do? Again, it goes back to you just turning things over and not wanting to do the work. And you're expecting these results. As Albert Einstein said, you keep doing the same thing over and over again. The definition of insanity. And you're expecting a different result. You're not going to get it. Because if all you do is sit here and woe is me, if all you do is envy what somebody else has, if all you do is sit here and cry, oh me, people get tired of you and they're going to move on, poor you. And for those are the ones that are not sitting there crying, poor me, they are the ones that focus on Jazzy Faye and those like him, where you're the problem. What's in you, not that shell. And therefore, now I got a problem with you because why is it you and not me? Well, it could be you, but you chose for it not to be you because, again, you are focused on what somebody else's has versus what you have. As they say, sweet by your doorstep and not somebody else's.
Well, I tell you, as Addie said, that was a big statement, and you enlightened him. But let me just say here, Anjaya, I don't know what the question was about. Why? What came to my mind. We're the highest functioning mammal, and I know, guys, but this is what came to me like that. And also, so therefore, yeah, I know. Is she always like this? Yeah, I try to clean up a little bit with y'all, but yeah, that's just the way my mind works. But we are. And so, but also we need to remain humble. But what I think is that we have become our own audience. And this is going to sound really crazy. And I don't even know if I can't read my writing, but I know what I'm trying to say. We have become our own audience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm saying different from what you may have.
What about
And
that
so we become
cover story?
That's it. We bought our own cover story. And so now we are a viewer and we get off on our own victim mentality. We get off on saying that other people have done us wrong. We get off on being offended because someone didn't ask the question or didn't make the statement the way that we want them to do it, because we are an observer in our own lives. What's that movie that I just saw for the first time recently with Jim Carrey when his life was a
Are you talking about the Truman Show?
Thank you, the Truman Show. We are becoming the Truman Show, meaning we are becoming observers in our own life, and we are reacting as if it's not happening to us.
Right.
Now, Coron, this is not one of them things that is happening for us. No. I'm not talking about that, Coron. We'll get back together at some point, Coron. I haven't forgotten you. But these people are experiencing their life as if they are watching their own life as a TV program, as a reality show, and they get off on it. I can't say it another way. They get off on it. What do you mean, Taz? Get off on playing the victim. I get off on shame. No, that's not right. I get off on blaming other people for my own inadequacies. I get off on it. It makes me feel what you say, holidays, it make me feel good. It makes me feel good because you play that card all the time. All the time. How can you continue to play the same card all the time? There's no growth. The growth is always going to be somebody else's problem. You never see you for you. So that's the reason I'm like, it's like they're not humble, but you can't be humble when you see yourself from the audience perspective. So let me say that. I know that people, this is going to sound crazy. You don't let me say this, because I never thought about it. But it's going to be the opposite of what I'm trying to say. Some people I'm going to clean up and say it this way. Some people get street creds because of what's happened to them.
Yep.
That victim, it's always what somebody did to them. They get street creds for that. I was sexually abused, lost my sight, saw my uncle shot and killed. I haven't got any street creds for that. But I never thought about it from that perspective until just now. I don't have any street creds for that. It's a part of my life. It was a part of the refinement. And I understood, even though I didn't understand it as I was going through it. It took me 40 years, and he gave me that answer finally that I've been asking him. But I understood, Quran, I'm back on Quran, that was happening for me. It wasn't happening to me.
Right.
So it didn't hold me shackled. Get the shackles off my feet so I can, is a dance?
Yep.
Or I can move, Mary.
Yep.
It wasn't keeping me shackled. I didn't see it using Quran's language. It was happening for me, but I knew I wasn't using it for street creds. Because when I'm saying street creds, meaning that I'm still stuck there because I'm viewing it as an audience participant. I'm viewing my life as an audience participant versus looking at my life, learning from what's happening for me, and then using that to move forward. And you may say, but I am Dr. Todd. No, you're not. Because it is always somebody else's fault.
Yes.
Always somebody else's fault. They didn't talk. They didn't say it the way I wanted them to say it. They looked at me too hard. They looked at me the wrong way. They this. They. When is it going to be about you, baby? It's about you. It's not about them. And I see that in so many different things. As you said something, and I don't even see where I would have wrote it, but I thought I wrote it down. You're the reason I didn't accomplish this.
Right.
No, I'm not the reason you didn't accomplish this. You are the reason you didn't accomplish that. So
and what came to mind
to show approval. I'm back on that. We had a study to show approval. It's your fault. It's not my fault.
But what came to mind is, if y'all remember this, when it was Nancy Kerrigan. Oh Lord, what was the other woman's name?
I can't think of her name.
And I had it. Yes. I want to say it was Tina. I don't think it was Tina.
I don't think it was that. I know who you're talking about.
Was it Tammy? Anyway.
I don't think it's Tanny, but Nancy Kerrigan.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Nancy Kerrigan, right, and she, the other person name that we can't mention at this now, can't recall it at this moment. It'll come to us after the fact. She was so upset that Nancy was better. Nancy won't even stun her. Nancy said, I got a job to do. I'm out here, I'm practicing, I'm sweating, okay, I'm getting up, making the sacrifices so I can be the best for me, not for you, not for you, not for you, but for me.
Mm-hmm.
For me.
Mm-hmm.
And then here it is, old girl come across, and then what, with a crowbar or something?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then hit her in the knee and like broke her, like shattered, like again. And they said that she was jealous because Nancy was better. And everybody just, oh, Nancy. And even after the fact, she thought that she was going to just rise above. And people were still saying, oh, poor Nancy. And it's like, you did all of that and you still didn't get nowhere. You still didn't get that desired outcome, right? Because you thought if I take my number one competitor out the way, then I can move on up in ranks, but you played yourself. And that's what winds up happening with people who continue to stay in that victim mentality and blaming the world. You wind up playing yourself because those other people that you think are bothered by you, baby, they not bothered. They not losing sleep. They not missing a meal. They moving on. Not even getting, you're not even in they scope of view. They're not even thinking about you. And you over here putting energy into a dead situation when all you need to be is focusing on what you do.
But you see, AnJerya, whose dead situation now? I'm putting energy in a dead situation, but whose dead situation?
It's my own.
See, that's the thing that we don't get.
No.
See, it's my dead situation. We're not, I like to call them that Black Jesus. We're not Black Jesus. I can't raise Lazarus from the dead. I can't resurrect something, baby. Let it go.
Let it go.
Because again, I don't have that type of power in my hand. And the thing is, we miss out so much. I got a friend that calls it that shiny object syndrome. We miss out so much trying to have what others have, trying to be who other people are. Just be you.
And
I go back and not mine, and not be like mine. Just be you. Yeah, I go back to what I said with Miss Gloria recently. I may actually say it the way I actually used to say it. When I was a little girl, you weren't even born. Somebody, I think I said Reverend Cope, somebody had preached a sermon, and we came home, and I'm like, okay, so he's saying be the best. And I said to Mother, so if the language then would have been a streetwalker, the language now would be a whore. And I said, so if you're a whore, be the best. He's like, well, yeah. Because again, I'm trying to wrap my mind about what the minister was saying. Even then, I thought differently. Because I'm taking it, he probably just talked about be the best Christian, be the best church usher. That's probably what he would talk about, Felicia. He would talk about the church ushers. But being the precocious little girl that I was, that wasn't what I was thinking about. I'm looking at, because I'm always observing people. I've always observed people. So I'm like, so if you're going to be the custodian, if you're going to be the doctor, if you're going to be the streetwalker, the who, you're saying, he's saying be the best. Yeah. And Mama said to me, yes, whatever you do, be the best at it. And so what that says to me in a bigger perspective, AnJerya, that whatever we have, whatever your talent is, work your talent and be the best at that.
That's it.
And stop trying to resurrect something that don't have nothing to do with you. You is not a vampire. You're not going to be able to bite somebody or bite something and resurrect it.
No.
You can't do that. And you lose time. You lose your creativity. You lose the things that he put in you because you're not nurturing them. And you haven't planted them in the right field. You're in the wrong field, baby. You planted at the wrong time. You can't grow whatever. In fact,
you're trying to grow that in rocks. In rocks. You trying to grow your plants over there in some rocks.
Some rocks. Thank you. You're trying to grow up. How they gonna get up between them rocks? It's not gonna work. Uh-huh. And the rocks are the things that's you, baby. That you the rock. You see, you the rock. I ain't talking about the other rock. You the rock. It's not the other people. Because we are the, but you see, I want what you have.
Yep.
Because it looks so good. it looks so glamorous, but are you willing to have the sleepless nights? Are you willing to go through it, not knowing how you're going to get through it? Are you willing to be weeping when you should be smiling? Are you willing to do this, endure this, and that? And then think that you're going to come out of it okay. You might come out of it okay, but it still don't mean that you're going to get what that other person has. Because as you said, it's so elegant, what's for you is for you. I'm not trying to have what you got. And you, my sister, I don't want what you got.
I don't know.
You know, I love my nieces, but this is a good example. That's a good example. I love my nieces. They come visit anytime. But I've been going back to my Hattie McDaniel. I don't know McDaniel. I don't know nothing about birth no babies. So I didn't have children. I don't know what that's like. I'm not trying to play in that field. I'm not trying to plant nothing in that field. That ship has sailed. I ain't trying to go down that road. Again, it's a simple example. I love my nieces and my nephew. They can come anytime. But I'm not trying to raise no children. Now, if for some reason I had to step in, I'll step in. But it will be a steep learning curve because I'm old school. Because I don't know new school raising children. Because all I have is my experiences when my parents raised me. I don't know nothing about raising no children in the 21st century. And it's totally different now, you know, because I look at you, I'm like, oh, okay, you do it that way. Okay. Uh-huh. I don't know nothing about that. I'm not trying to get up on that. But again, I think, OnJerya, that I always like it when God orchestrates and puts two on the same path, unbeknownst to them. Yep. And then he just merges it together. I'm going to give you the final words for tonight.
Well, I mean, we done said all that can be said, and I don't even like saying that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, worry about what you got going on and stop worrying about what others have. And as you stated, water your field. Water your plants. Mm-hmm. Water your talents and let the little sunshine come through, and it will grow and it will multiply. Because again, what is for you is for you, and what is for somebody else, it will be for them. And as long as you remain humble and focused on the prize, which is what is for you and not for somebody else, I promise you'll come out on top. And sometimes things work out better for you than you ever could imagine. So just stay focused, eyes on the prize.
Well, OnJerya, I thank you so much for that. Stay focused, eyes on the prize. Stay focused, eyes on the prize. It has been so good to have this time with you and with our audience. Thank you so much for joining us for our exclusive IG show, Real Talk with TAS and OnJerya, that appears every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We so do look forward to our time with you and your feedback, because your feedback helps us to think and process things also. And we enjoy that, because even when we get off, we still be talking about it, because we get insights from you guys too. So we appreciate your joining us. So until next time, remember, before you go trying to take care of somebody else, it's to sweep around your own doorstep. Sweep around your own doorstep first. I tell that, OnJerya, crazy, but that is a saying. Before you go try and take care of somebody else, please make sure you take care of yourself first. Bye now.
Bye.